Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of One Take because life has no rehearsal. Today, I am thrilled to bring in Kimberly Lancaster. Before we get into what Kimberly does, I have one phrase that I learned when I was, I don't know, like 30, something like that, 35, when the internet began. And that is free porn is not free. Let that sink in for a moment. So what Kimberly does is she keeps you safe from those companies and many other interesting things. So Kimberly, thank you very much. She is in Seattle, where it's probably cold and damp. I'm in Miami today, where it's really hot and humid. And Kimberly, thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. This is an amazing opportunity. I am so thrilled to be here. So thank you.
Well, let's jump right in. Uh,
Sure.
we're all, I don't know, vintage, I guess. So we have all had tons of decisive moments in our lives, moments that we chose the right thing, or we didn't choose the right thing, or we made the wrong move, whatever, but we've had a lot. However, there's always one or two moments that you remember as really decisive professionally, the moments that really created the modern Kimberly. What were they?
Oh, what a great question. I love this. I think one of them was when I worked for one of the big tech companies and I was sitting in a conference in Orlando watching the head of the company and the sales teams and everything. Having been in privacy and security for some time, I always thought, eh, okay, rah, rah, ree, ree. And I actually sat and watched the people around me and listened to what was being said on the stage. And the people around me were getting excited because the bringing of the hype. And at that moment, one of the other leaders came out on stage and said, "Look, we're here to help raise the bar. To do this, we have to have everyone in the company participate." And I thought, do you mean everybody, like including me and the analyst and everybody else? And he went on for a few more minutes and clarified that he did mean everybody. And it really struck me then that, we've always heard the saying, it takes a village to
Right.
make something happen. Well, it really does. And contributing in any small way helps grow. So that was probably from a business perspective when I really started to understand that it does take everybody. It does take everybody contributing. It does take everybody being part of and their voice being heard. And that to be an effective individual and leader, I needed to show that myself. And part of that really started to move my career in a different direction. I knew that I've always done, like I said, privacy and security, which for some people is like, yeah, that's really boring and well, and
I don't think so.
and I don't want to do that, or you're going to stop me from doing something. Especially my marketing people, they want to be very creative. They want to do things. Hey, let's figure out a way. Let's
Yeah,
figure out a way. So I changed no to yes, and let's work together.
I had that. So to be honest, in media, there are teams, and we believe in teamwork. And
Hmm.
but there's certainly doers and doees, right? So
Yeah.
in media, it's kind of stratified, mainly because we make a lot of money decisions, right? And
Yeah.
then at some point, somebody's going to have to say, "Yeah, we go with this or not." But
Yeah.
it was very interesting that I went to see a friend of mine who is a race car driver.
Yeah.
You would have never guessed because he actually, the last I remember of him in Spain, he got into a Bultaco 350 and he completely demolished the thing. So he
Ah.
ripped it to pieces. And he turns out to be like a really good race car driver. And then he now measures the telemetry of
Oh, okay.
car racing teams. But at some point they finish the race, whatever. And I said, "Come on, Steve, let's have let's have dinner." He goes, "Nope, this is a team. Nobody goes home until everybody goes home." And I found that to be, and this is like, I don't know, 20 years
That's
ago. It's a very powerful phrase. Now,
yes.
let's go over to porn for a moment. Free
Okay.
porn is not free.
No.
We all learned that early on when the internet, you know, was being
Yeah.
formed, and, like in the privacy of our offices, we looked at whatever. But the whole idea of privacy, of data management, on how you give the data, how the data is kept, how you can use the data legally or not, is, I don't think it's boring at all. I think it is the cornerstone
Yeah.
of Amazon. If you look at it, Amazon has my credit card, has my buying history forever.
Mhm.
That's worth a lot of money because they can, advise me, hey, buy this, or this would fit really well. Like if I buy a camera, then the lens, whatever.
Right.
But one of the things also at our age, we've not only experienced a lot of change,
Mm.
many of us have caused that change.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember cable didn't exist, and then I backed it up in Latin America. Like three or four of us backed it up, and then cable existed. So we implemented change. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about the speed of change and the, I don't know, the non predictability of some change. What
Oh.
really struck you?
Oh. I think one of the biggest that comes right to mind is being able to not have to make a long distance phone call.
Oh, that's true. We have everything. We
You
have
know,
Zoom. We
we
have
have
everything.
Zoom, we have everything. I can talk to people across the world. I can have interactions with people. Um, I can communicate effectively. Um, you know, like you, I grew up when, you went out of the house at 8 o'clock in the morning. You came back when it was dark. You maybe ran in once in a while and said, "Hey, mom, I'm home. Gone again." And yet now we have kids that are so tied to devices
Oh, yeah.
that they don't know how to live without them. And that, I think, is one of the things, good, bad, or indifferent, that has drastically changed in the last 20, 30 years. You know,
Actually, probably even less than that. I remember when
yeah,
Skype came out,
yeah,
right? And everybody
exactly.
said Skype, whatever, whatever. And I found that to be extremely useful. For example,
Yeah,
guys from India, they would call you and say, "Hey, listen, we need to discuss this," whatever. Then,
yep,
fantastic. I don't have to go to India. Marvelous.
yeah,
I save a lot of time for a 2 hour discussion. Or,
right,
people want to say, "Hey, let's meet as a team," and then we can discuss that. Uh, at some point, I think Skype blew it. They let Zoom, take over. And
yeah,
I thought that the huge change came with COVID, when you
yeah,
really couldn't meet in person. And then Zoom became the standard. But
yeah,
now, yeah, I agree. It's one of those changes that you could have never in a million years predicted, the fact that
no,
you would actually create relationships, human, actual, friendly relationships over Skype, or,
yeah,
Zoom, or whatever. People don't necessarily have to meet each other. And I've seen that even in one take. I mean, Beate, I don't know Beate in person.
you're
I don't
right.
know Renee in person. I only met Shlomi because we both live in Coral Gables. Well,
Yeah,
that was sheer coincidence.
hmm,
So now we have that. We have this fantastic change in your industry, which I imagine extends to you being able to share a screen and say, "Hey, this is what we're doing," which
hmm,
before you couldn't do over a phone.
right.
How have you implemented that? How did it? What did you do about it?
Oh, um, well, COVID. You're right. COVID did make a big change. Um, I have worked remotely now since COVID. I have customers through my business that I've never met in person, but I talk to on a daily basis. I've had two positions with a current and a previous client that I have never met any of them in person.
Wow.
And yet I have built the relationship and have a trusting working partnership with them through the online media. And it makes it much easier. I know that from being in the office, yes, there's that human interaction, and we all need that. So there, it is important to have some sort of human reaction. You can't just sit in your basement and do whatever. Um, there are those that do that, but I think that it's really important that we grow and continue to grow this way, because you're able to meet. You mentioned India. I've got a partner in India. I've got one in Japan. I've got one in Germany. And I talk to them at least once a week. We sit, we joke, we have a good time. We know about each other's families. We are truly like we are in person, but through the screen. And it allows us as human beings to continue to have that warmth and relationship that is so needed as a human while conducting business without having to fly everywhere. Now, is that great for the industry, for the airline industry? Maybe not, but hey, there's still a lot of people flying. Um,
Tell me about it.
yeah, and it gives me a place, eventually I want to go see.
Yeah.
I hear all about, one partner's home in Japan, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going there one day. And I wouldn't probably have thought about that before. So there is growth, there is opportunity, and it allows for speed of business to continue to grow. Now, we are growing extremely fast. Everything's going 100 miles an hour, which is so much more than it was when we were in the office.
Yeah. And that also brings me to another modern problem, which is analysis.
Hmm.
Uh, Even though I began on the creative side, I'm still a rock and roll photographer. I go to at least one heavy metal, punk, or rock event a week. I'm still a
Love
very
it.
analytical guy. I like
Yeah.
to examine, what are we doing? What
Hmm.
makes you think this is going to succeed? What other things are we missing? Or what problems have you not
Yeah.
foreseen? And I see that today, especially in the advertising industry, which has really grown very fast, very atomized. You have people who do only SEO, and then
Yep.
within the SEO community, you have people who only do SEO using AI tools, and it has a name,
Hmm.
and I can't remember what it is, but like DAO or something like that. So anyway, that happens, and then I don't find that even these tools like Zoom, where you could easily meet with three or four
Yeah.
people and really examine what is going to go wrong or what is going to go right or how to
Hmm.
maximize the things that are working. I don't find that we're doing that, and a lot of people make decisions, you know gut instinct, but you can't trust your gut all of the time. So I find that a bit troubling, really.
Yeah.
But
It
neither here
it's
nor there. I mean, like,
yeah, and I love the fact that you're still going to hard rock and punk shows.
oh, I'm going to one on Saturday, which is going to be great. It's called Brutality because it's going to be held in a brewery.
Oh, I
And
love it. I
yeah,
love it.
and it's like 10 bands, two stages, beginning at six
Uh,
o'clock in the afternoon.
See, you need to
And
come out here to Washington and go to the Gorge.
I should. Yeah, there's many
You should.
places where I should.
Yep.
But I try, and it's a lot of fun. Except I tell all of my friends, if you're a heavy metal band and you're playing at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, nah,
Yeah. Heavy
no,
metal doesn't start till about 9,
exactly 10, something like that.
10, somewhere in
But
there.
Oski, the promoter, he needs to make it happen. So
Uh,
that's very that's super interesting. Now let's just talk about something that we hadn't talked
yeah.
about. So I'm going to catch you
Okay.
by surprise. You
Okay.
mentioned the trifecta, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm a real good student of physics. I really believe in what they call, right now it's called GUT, Grand Unified
Yeah.
Theory. But essentially, it's like, do we see one single equation that really ties the four forces of physics together?
Mhm.
Where do you see that happening with your trifecta? Where do we see everything kind of merging into one single discipline?
Ah, so the trifecta is privacy, security, and compliance. And with that, I do not believe that, yes, they can stand on their own, but they're so much stronger tied together, and they enable a business and they enable individuals to do things much more effectively, including within the three teams, or if you have, in some instances, very small teams. What it does is it allows for combining of effort to make sure that different requirements are put forth and that they're logical, that I don't have somebody over here saying you have to do it this way and this person's saying the exact same thing but in a different way, and then this person's saying really close to the same thing but adding a new twist to it. Well, no, if these three come together and combine up front, you give one message, you get a clearer response. Uh, you are not creating the scenario where the kid goes, Mom, can I do this? And mom says one thing and then goes to dad and dad says another. And you have a unified message. You have uh, opportunity for growth in all areas, including the business, because it's easier to implement, understand, sell, get your customers to buy into it. Um, I'm very firm believer in this is how it should work. And when people don't allow or have set agendas that they need to follow, it breaks down the process. It slows it down. It creates drag that should not be there. Um, riding motorcycles.
Ah,
You
ah,
know, if you notice when you have a group of motorcyclists, they're not side by side. They're interjoined
yes, yeah.
to create a better wind pattern for those that are behind and to keep each other safe. We watch each other. We all signal at the same time. The tail never gets too far behind. The front always knows where the tail is. It's that grouping of effort that makes things happen effectively.
So let me just throw something completely off the wall. As you talk,
Okay.
I was visualizing this. And so I think traditional advertising is still very
Mhm.
much alive, but I
Yes.
think part of it is dead. And
Yeah.
part of it has to do with trust and, things. So
Mhm.
if you have a very transparent and a very solid and a proven solid compliance, GDPR, compliance
Yeah.
and privacy and everything, you could say that that strength would create a higher degree of trust on a brand than
Yes.
not having it. So I know IT people, especially, they want to be alone and they want to be separate, the same way that we media people
Yeah.
40 years ago basically invented the media central because we wanted to be independent.
Yeah.
Could there be a possibility, or could it be a future where all of this, all of the security, all of the privacy, all of the compliance falls under a CMO, a chief marketing officer, because it would directly impact a brand? Or would you guys say, no way, not going to happen?
Oh, no, no, no. You know, to me, I have the CTO, the CFO, the CEO, the CMO, the CRO. All of them are my bosses. They're my partners. And I have more fun getting engineers who love to play and code and be creative, and marketing people who are extremely creative, and sales teams coming together so that they're talking to each other and understanding what's going on and being that kind of funnel to help bring everything together. That's my job. That's what I love to do. And yes, I see what the value add is here, because if we're saying one thing over here on marketing and we're doing one thing over here, and I'm down here going, no, 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 you can't do that, um, it doesn't work. And that is where, again, that trifecta comes in, because once we bring the three groups together internally, then we bring in everybody else. And I have regular meetings. I understand where their plans are. I want to support them. I'm more than just a privacy and security and compliance person. I have to understand everybody and what's important to them and help them meet it. So, totally agree that there is an opportunity there.
No, I'm very glad. So just to kind of wrap it up, you and I
Yeah.
have been probably in the same place where somebody is wait, where somebody's saying, should I hire this person, not hire this person,
Ah,
whatever. So let's say you're sitting with the CEO. The CEO is looking at a few candidates. Some of them are younger, some of them are older. Uh, you know, what would you say to the CEO is the real value of an older person?
the real value of an older person, very honestly, comes down to not only do I have on the job experience, I may not be able to work 20 hours a day, but the 8 to 10 hours a day you're going to get are high quality. And I've learned how to listen. I've learned how to talk. I've learned how to ask questions. And I have learned how to mold and help people grow. I'm here to help you grow the business. I'm not here to make my own path forward, because my success comes with the business success.
No, that's great. And I think team building and mentorship
Hmm.
actually are one of
Hmm.
the strengths that we do bring to every company. At
Yep.
some point, we're saying, we're here. Let me try to help somebody else grow. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Oh,
diminish me. A lot of
no.
people do when they're young. They say, well, like, I don't know, can't help this guy. We are at a stage in our life where we say, yeah, let's help this guy. Why not?
I love, there's nothing better for me than watching somebody that I work with go beyond me. There is nothing better in my life. I've had several opportunities to watch people that have worked for me go beyond where I am. And it gives me so much joy that it's just amazing.
Well, no, that's absolutely great. And on a joyful note,
Yeah,
let's absolutely end it there because I think that is a really positive message that age brings to any company.
I agree.
So, so Kimberly, thank you very much. We didn't get to
So
talk about your
thank you.
Harley, but we can connect any other time and let's exchange,
Yeah,
uh,
let's do
reckless stories of Harleys versus ninjas and stuff.
that, and good punk bands.
Yeah. So thank you. I wish you
Thank
the best
you.
of luck. I hope this must be kind of early for you. Yeah,
Ah,
it's 8 o'clock
yay!
in the morning.
I'm ready
Yeah,
for I'm ready for the second cup of coffee. We're good.
yeah. I just went through that. I just went through my second cup of coffee. So
There we
thank you very
go.
much. I
Thank you.
really thank you for joining us. It's been an
Thank you.
enlightening experience, and
It has.
I really hope everything goes in the same direction. Branding and
Thank you.
security and all of that. So thank you, and look forward to seeing you again.
Yes, you too. Have a
Yes,
wonderful day.
you too. Thanks.
All right.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.